Come and dream with me.
Hello and welcome to What Do You Want to Watch, the Explosion Network's premier media podcast. Every week we get together to talk about movies, TV and online content and help you answer the question. With the Australian version of The Office coming and NCIS Sydney just getting its cast, what's the next American TV show that's going to get Australianized? I'm excited to find out. I'm your host, Ashley Hobley. Joining me today, Dylan Blight.
Good question. I don't know, actually.
Cops.
Fair enough.
Law and Order.
Cops.
Yeah. On today's show, we'll be discussing watch history, going with some film and TV news, giving some thumbs to trailers, and telling you about this week's top 3. We'll kick things off. Dylan, you've got a review up on explosionnote.com for the first episode of The Idol, the much talked about new series from Sam Levinson that debuted at Cannes to much critical distaste. What did you think of the first episode?
It was pretty shit. I think I gave it like a 3 and a half. I don't know, something like that. It actually starts good, and it just it starts decent, I guess is how it starts decent, and it just completely sort of dovetails. When the first episode started, I thought it was like sort of tongue in cheek. Like I thought I understood what the show was going for, and then I'm not even sure what this show knows what it's going for, because it starts with Lily Rose Depp's character Jocelyn. She's like this pop star who's had some major event happen in her life, and now she's about to put out her first big album in quite some time, and she's doing a photo shoot, and then this whole event starts coming around, like people arguing with her about being able to do topless photo shoots, and like you got all these managers scrambling around, and then like a photo leaks online of her with fucking someone's semen all over her face, and like it just is very just a lot. But the way the dialogue was written, and you got the way the characters are sort of going backwards and forwards, I thought I was like, yeah, okay, this is very over the top, but sort of tongue in cheek way, like having a look at it. And then after this event, which sort of plays out for the first 20 minutes, this like real time back and forth trying to solve this problem thing. Then she goes to a club where she meets the Weeknd's character, and it just like my interest. I was paying attention to the first 20 minutes, and the next second I was playing Marvel Snap on the phone. It's how I would describe the direction of this show went, because he comes in, he's a very creepy dude, and then he has these creepy conversations, and then she for some reason likes him even though he's got this disgusting rat tail. then she's inviting him over to her house, and he's like has horrible lines including, you know, if you're gonna sing about I think it's something like, if you're gonna sing about being a freak, at least sound like you know how to fuck. Or something like that. Just like the most ridiculous lines. And anyway, like it just I was like, cool, yep, that was a show, that was the thing I watched. And very weird show. I feel like you could tell, because that I'm like, as soon as the episode finished, I went back and reread like that the
Allegations and stuff.
Well, that big article, and like the thing was that the original director left, and then the report was it was because the Weeknd didn't like the direction the show was taking, which was like giving it more of a female centric view, and he wanted it to be more about his character. And I don't know, I feel like you see that transition halfway through this episode. So I wouldn't suggest it. This is my end of day comment.
A big L from the sound of it.
Yeah, big L.
So you're not going to watch episode 2?
I don't think I will. I was nearly gonna, if I could be bothered, just to see if it could get worse, but I don't think I could be bothered.
No. So watch Flamin Hot, the new film on Disney Plus, directed by Eva Longoria, about the creation of the Flamin Hot Cheeto, following the life of Richard Montanez, a young man growing up in Southern California, who got into a life of crime, getting into gang life and that kind of stuff. But as his family starts to get bigger and older, he kind of tries to change his ways, and he ends up working as a janitor at Frito-Lay, the company that makes Cheetos and all that kind of stuff. And eventually he comes across the idea of, as the recession, I guess, of the mid or late 80s is hitting, and the factory is potentially going to be closed, he has the idea to incorporate Latin flavors into the Cheetos and Doritos and that kind of stuff, and pitches the idea, despite being just a janitor, to the CEO, and things go from there. Yeah, it's a perfectly fine underdog story. I mean, it's a little bit over the top and over dramatic at times. This does have some fun elements of, like, they have a lot of like fantasy-esque scenes and that kind of stuff, like a Scrubs, I guess, kind of, but like over the top kind of elements. Yeah, I found it quite enjoyable. I don't think it's not mind blowing anyway. I think it's pretty solid in every way. The main guy, Jesse Garcia, is very enjoyable. I don't think Flaming Hot Cheetos are a big thing here in Australia, but obviously they're a huge thing in the US. So, if you want to learn the origins of Flaming Hot Cheetos and see a guy go from the bottom to the top, this is the movie for you. So, Flamin' Hot on Disney Plus, check that out. Dylan, you've watched the new film from Guy Ritchie's Covenant, coming to Prime Video this week.
The Covenant, yeah. So this is an interesting one, because I swear when the trailer released, this was supposed to come to cinemas, and then it disappeared. And then the what's coming to Amazon Prime email came out, and they're like, "Hey, the Covenant's coming this month." It was like fucking weird. Anyway, I actually really enjoyed this movie. So the pitch for this one is, it's like set, I guess, I think it's around the last year that US forces are in Afghanistan before they sort of pull out. I think it's like whatever that is, like 2017, 18, like in the back end. You've got the main character, which is Jake Gyllenhaal, who's like this sergeant, and Jake Gyllenhaal is like decent in this movie, but the star of it is this other dude, Dar Salim, who's this. He plays Ahmed, who's a translator for the, like, he's Jake Gyllenhaal's like squad or whatever, like translator. And the first half of the movie, it's sort of broken up into two acts, I guess. The first half of the movie has like, you get to see Jake Gyllenhaal's character, the sergeant, Slim, and Ahmed, and the rest of his crew sort of like gathering evidence and, like, doing the typical, like, we're trying to find weapons of fucking bombs and whatever else, and track all that stuff down. And then a major sort of shootout happens, and they get stuck together, and those two characters, Ahmed and the sergeant, they go for a lot, and Ahmed ends up being able to save him. And then the second half of the movie is months later, and it's, hey, he's like, the sergeant's now back in America, and he's like, how's that Ahmed dude? Like, has he got out of Afghanistan yet? Because part of the deal the American government made for a lot of these people was, hey, you sort of, you work for us and we'll help get you visas to America. Like, that's sort of the deal. But no, he's still stuck there. He's in hiding. Also, he's like most wanted now for helping this American sergeant like escape and all this sort of stuff. And then the second half of the movie is Jake Gyllenhaal's character being like, I'm gonna fucking go in and save this motherfucker, because that's what I got to do. I quite enjoyed it. I definitely feel that, yeah, Dar Salim, Ahmed stand out. Really, really. There's something. Some people have a look, and this dude just portrays so much, I think, with his eyes throughout this movie. Like, there's segments just without dialogue. It's just, there's a lot going on in that dude's eyes, I think, in his face. A lot of like very minimalistic performance, but I thought there was a lot there. This is also not a Guy Ritchie flashy, over the top, fast paced, edited movie. This is definitely Guy Ritchie taking a step back, treating the material with a lot more seriousness than he would give to other things, which I definitely appreciated as well. And even though it may appear, I guess, in trailers, I wouldn't say it's like it's definitely not a pro war movie. It's not a super anti-war movie either. The character of like Jake Gyllenhaal's character, the sergeant, definitely portrayed as like just a straight up typical like American sergeant dude or whatever else. Like this is Jake Gyllenhaal's like he's good, but he's not. Usually Jake Gyllenhaal in a movie is like very standout, but he's just like fine here. But the movie is definitely more focused on having something to say about the false promises that the American government gave to people during that quote unquote war invasion of Afghanistan, whatever you want to call it, and then how they didn't follow up on their promises and left people and like people's lives, like, and how that affected people's lives and stuff. And the focus is obviously on this character of Ahmed here, but yeah, I actually really enjoyed it, so I would suggest watching it.
Awesome. So yeah, this comes to Prime Video this Friday. And then you also watched a new series, The Swarm, on Binge.
Yeah, this is a interesting one. It's based on a book, but like the pitch was, I remember reading about it a while ago, and it was like Germans, like a German. The main production company is a German one. It was like their biggest production, like TV show, co-production or whatever it is. And the cast is like, I swear, there's like probably nearly every language in the world in this. Like you've got like so many different languages being spoken from characters throughout this series, which I thought was really interesting as well. The setup is that how do you say it without spoiling? So you've got like you're introduced to a bunch of different characters, and that's the thing. I think the first few episodes it does that typical thing where you have a larger cast of you're struggling to sort of get attached to any one character. And the other problem with this show is because I guess they try and make it realistic, is most of the characters, because they're scientists, they're fucking boring people. Like no of it. Like they're not like played up to be like really exciting. They're just like straight arrow sort of like scientist types, which I guess it is what it is, but they definitely don't try and make them any more like super exciting. But they're like introduced a bunch of people, including one who's just like he's the scientist who like looks into whales and whatever that's called, and they're all like water people though. And weird shit starts happening with animals and stuff in the water, and they begin trying to investigate it, and I like it builds up and up until I think, like, without even getting into major spoiler stuff, like there's a part where like it starts, I think in the first episode, it's like a whale washed up on the beach where that never really happens. It's like, that's weird, that's that small. And I think by the time you get to the second or third episode, it's like fucking like a swarm, like in the title, a swarm of fucking crabs just like storming up a beach and attacking people. And no one can figure out why all these like sea life creatures are doing this. And of course the pitch sort of becomes it's Mother Nature fighting back because of what we've done to the oceans. So then this team sort of forms together to investigate that and to figure out what's going on. I enjoyed it for what it was. Yeah, I definitely feel like it's not going to be for everyone just because of how like straight edge a lot of the characters are. And it's like the show's more interesting because of it's like what's happening rather than the people themselves, which is it's a plus and a minus at the same time, I guess. Special effects wise, even having a bigger budget, like there's still definitely some parts where I'm like, yeah, okay, we could use a little bit more money here, stuff like that. But I liked it. It ends on a cliffhanger. I looked up the book. The book's like fucking 1,000 pages or something, so I don't know how much of this is covered in this series, but I would be keen for a second series, but yeah, well, I'd say it's not going to be for everyone. I'd definitely I'd give it more than one episode though. If you I feel like it's definitely one of those shows where you have to sort of watch, I'd say 2 to 3 to get your head to see the main sort of characters and then the main idea of the show before you could decide if it's for you or not.
Well, that's everything I watched history this week. Let's move into a little bit of film news. And Dylan, the Golden Globes as we know them are dead, or at least the Hollywood Foreign Press. So the big changes are afoot for the Golden Globe Awards. Now, the Dick Clark Productions and Todd Bogley's Eldridge have acquired the assets of the awards from the non-profit Foreign Press Association, which will shutter as the Globe's franchise moves into a new era. The new owners will use the assets and cash on hand from the Hollywood Foreign Press Association to establish the Golden Globe Foundation, which will continue the HFPA's tradition of charitable giving. The award show itself and related assets will be part of the for-profit operations of Dick Clark Productions, which has long been allied with the Hollywood Foreign Press for the award show. The move out of the non-profit status will allow the Globes to pursue many more commercial options that were possible under the Hollywood Foreign Press regime. President says, we're excited to close on this much anticipated member approved transaction and transition from a member led organization to a commercial enterprise. One of the major changes was the 95 original full-time members of the Hollywood Foreign Press will now be salaried members of the Dick Clark whatever company and making like $70,000 a year. This doesn't include all the new voting members who were introduced in the last couple of years to make them look better. They'll just still be just unpaid voters on the Golden Globes. But yeah, I thought this was an interesting story that like the Hollywood Foreign Press technically dead now.
Yeah, very weird because for ages, obviously, you'd hear about like, you know, thank you to the Hollywood Foreign Press, and you know, it's like just sort of become unanimous with when you think Golden Globes and everything. So I don't know, like, what's the it's still like I'm confused. Like, how's it work now?
I don't know. I mean, there's still there'll still be a voting body for the Golden Globes, but I guess it won't technically be called the Hollywood Foreign Press.
Okay. Still very weird.
It's still very weird. And again, the LA Times says that the added voters will not become employees under the new ownership, but the 95 full-timers will be paid $75,000 a year to screen films and shows submitted for the Golden Globes, vote on the awards, create content for the organization's website, and manage materials related to the award show. So, wow. That's a pretty good gig.
I could do that job.
So, yeah. It'd be interesting to see. Is the Golden Globe suddenly going to become the Game Awards, where there's like a ton of like ads during the actual showcase during the awards? There's no actual awards; it's just showing off a bunch of trailers.
I feel like the problem. I've seen this idea obviously come up before. With people like, "Oh, wish movie shows like the Academy Awards were more like the Game Awards and stuff." But I'm like, but there's not enough trailers. I feel like that audience would ever care about. You know what I mean? Because it's just like when you think it's at that stage, it's just the MTV Movie Awards. And like the trailers they would show there, which is Marvel stuff and, you know, like the pop culture stuff. You know, do you reckon anyone's like getting hyped? Man, here comes a new, like, what are we going to talk about later? We're talking about the trailer for fucking Yorgos Lanthimos, or however you say his name, trailer. Like, yeah, fuck yeah. Yeah, I'm really excited. But
there are some trailers that, you know, it's like, hey, we're going to show you the new Zack Snyder movie trailer.
Sure.
Just tune in.
Yeah.
They'll get people hyped and watching, I guess. But then you juxtapose that with like the actual award-winning films.
The problem is also you can't like, okay, so Netflix pays and they have a trailer for their new movie shown and then they're nominated and it just becomes very weird.
Yeah. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Here's an interesting one. Netflix has had a few nice days leading up to Memorial Day. According to new research from Antenna, from May 24th to 27th, Netflix enjoyed its four largest days of US sign up in the last 4.5 years. It's measured the streamer. Netflix saw nearly 100,000 sign-ups on both the 26th and the 27th. Why those days? On May 23rd, Netflix began to inform subscribers in America it was cracking down on password sharing. Clearly, the binging public met that call to action with a whole lot of action. In other words, it probably wasn't all of new Arnold Schwarzenegger's series Fubar, which released on the 25th. So yeah, it seems like the decision to crack down on the password sharing paid off because there's a bunch of people signing up for Netflix.
Yeah, I'm not surprised about this at all. I think, as I said last time, that you just have this vocal group online that are like, oh, that's it, I'm just going to cancel my subscription. And I'm sure some people did do that, like they canceled their subscription, spat the GUI, you know, they're just pirating everything or whatever the fuck they're going to do. They were never going to pay for it anyway. They were only using the login because they had access to the dads. They were never going to pay for it. So you haven't lost anyone. But I always thought like the change. They're like, hey, we're just like, we're sort of hemorrhaging money. Can we can you maybe subscribe for your own account? And people were like, yeah, okay, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, how many is just people finally getting booted from their exes' Netflix accounts and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, probably a lot. It's quite
A
funny.
lot,
Yeah.
So, yeah, apparently there were a lot of cancellations as well, to be fair, but I assume it's been a net positive.
Yeah.
Across the board. So, we'll wait and see whether other streamers do a similar thing. That's it for this week. Let's give some time to some trailers.
Sure.
Of course, you can find all the trailers we're about to talk about this week in the show notes below. First trailer, Poor Things, directed by Yorgos Lanthimos, starring Emma Stone, Mark Ruffalo, Willem Dafoe, Rami Youssef, Jared Carmichael, Christopher Abbott, Margaret Qualley, and Catherine Hunter. Brought back to life by an unorthodox scientist, a young woman runs off with a lawyer on a whirlwind adventure across the continents. Free from the prejudices of her time, she grows steadfast in her purpose to stand for equality and liberation. Dylan, what do you think of the trailer for Poor Things?
Double thumbs up. Looks absolutely fantastic. I know what the fuck's really going on. I mean, I get the general gist or whatever, I guess, but there's just so much wild imagery and other things happening in this that I'm quite confused about the way it's all going to play out. But the mix between, I guess, both William Dafoe looking like a fucked up sort of Frankenstein. You got Mark Ruffalo and Emma Stone, I guess, having this romance that ends with that slap at the end, and just Mark Ruffalo's like perfect correction of like it's like so it's just so good. You got the black and white, you've got the sort of like for the simplest term, Wes Anderson-y like imagery of the cityscape there at that time, sort of what's happening there. Emma Stone just looks to be having the wildest performance of her career, I guess, here. I mean, I think I'll be interested. I'm highly interested in it. This is definitely leaning more back into Yorgos's like more weird movie stuff, which will be interesting. If you if you watch this, if you like it, because like obviously he did The Favorite, but like this teases on like having a darker side to it. And obviously, I wouldn't be surprised if it does have like if it's rated MA or something like that for what's going on here. But yeah, double thumbs up. I'm very keen.
Yeah, there's a double thumbs up for me as well. Like, it looks weird and wacky and crazy, and obviously it's got like a Frankenstein, story to it. Yeah, Emma Stone looks fantastic, doing all kinds of weird, crazy shit, not having complete ability over her body, I guess, or something. Just random winking at times and bullshit like that. Yeah, this looks like it's going to be very absurdist and crazy, so I'm on board. So it's releasing in US cinemas on September 8th and Australian cinemas on the 12th of October. Next trailer is for The Outlaws, directed by Tyler Spindle, starring Adam Devine, Pierce Brosnan, Ellen Barkin, Nina Dobrev, Michael Rooker, Purna Janganathan, Julie Haggerty, Richard Kind, Lil Ray Howery, and Blake Anderson. Owen Browning is a straight-laced bank manager about to marry the love of his life, Parker. When his bank is held up by the Ghost Bandits during his wedding week, he believes his future in-laws, who just arrived in town, are the infamous Outlaws. Dylan, what do you think of this trailer?
I think maybe it's because of the big week I've had, or something like that. But I watched this trailer and I really liked it. Like I was like, I just wish I could put this on. This is just the perfect, because all I kind of want to do is relax, to be honest. Like I'm fucking tired this week, right? So if I could, this is the perfect movie where I wish I could just, after we finish recording, I would happily just buy some junk food and put this on, and this is just going to be a dumb fun movie. So yeah, I'm going to double thumbs up.
Wow. This is one up, one down for me. I'm on board for the silliness, and I enjoyed like the in jokes and that kind of stuff. But it seems like a standard Netflix film. So, yeah, I enjoy Adam Devine. I like the James Bond references. I
Chris
assume
Brosnan's
Chris
putting on the
Brosnan's
stupid
number 5.
accent in this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
We got Michael
apparently
Rooker in this.
too handsome. It's too much.
Yeah.
So this is coming to Netflix on the 7th of July. So sorry, Dylan, you can't watch it straight after this.
Yeah, no, that's my problem.
Next trailer is for Good Omens Season 2, created by Neil Gaiman, starring Michael Sheen, David Tennant, John Hamm, Dune Makachan, Gloria Arbiano, Miranda Richardson, Maggie Service, Nina Sosana, Liz Carr, Quillen Sepulveda, and Shelley Conn. Good Omens 2 explores storylines and goes beyond the original source material to illuminate the ineffable friendship between Azrael, a fussy angel and rare book dealer, and the fast-loving demon Crowley. Having been on Earth since the beginning and the apocalypse watered, the duo are getting back to easy lives living among mortals in London's Soho. That is until the archangel Gabriel turns up unexpectedly at the door of Azrael's bookshop with no memory of who he is or how he got there. While Crowley is leery as to why the archangel has come to his bookshop, Azrael is keen to solve the mystery behind Gabriel's condition. However, hiding the archangel from heaven and hell quickly disrupts their lives in unforeseen ways. To solve this mystery and thwart heaven and hell in the process, the duo will need more than a miracle. They'll need to once again rely on each other. What did you think of this trailer?
Double thumbs up. Although I'm watching this trailer going, like, I love the original series, but it came out like 10 years ago. is the problem. And I'm watching this trailer going, yep, they definitely feel like the characters I remember. Yep, I remember John Hamm was in the first series too. That's cool. What the fuck happened in the first season? Like, it's my only problem. Yeah, I need a recap video or something like that. Like, I've got the general idea, like I remember Apocalypse, characters, things, stuff happens. Yep, all that sort of stuff. Like, I remember like bits, Francis McDormand that plays God and whatever else. I got little bits and bobs between it, but yeah, I definitely need a recap video ahead of this. Otherwise, I'm still going double thumbs up because if anything, it made me go, in a dream world, I'll just rewatch the entire first season again because I really remember enjoying it quite a lot, but that ain't going to happen. So I just need a recap video before this.
Yeah, I'll give it 2 thumbs up as well. I mean, Michael Sheen, David Tennant together, winning formula. Lots of cool imagery. John Hamm being an idiot, it works for him.
His new thing, he loves it.
Yeah, that's what he does. Looks like a lot of fun. Just like all the little bits and pieces of heaven and hell and that kind of stuff. Yeah, I'm definitely keen. I too definitely need like a recap video or like a quick run through. Even though I still consistently see Good Omens stuff all the time, like people definitely love that show and like cosplay and like fan art and stuff pop up on the timeline every now and again. So it hasn't been completely out of mind, but yeah, it's been a while. So Good Omens coming to Prime Video on the 28th of July. Next trailer is for The Expendables 4 or Expendables. Directed by Steve Waugh, starring Sylvester Stallone, Jason Statham, Dolph Lundgren, Randy Couture, Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, Megan Fox, Tony Jaa, Iko Uwais, Jacob Scipio, Levi Tran, and Andy Garcia. The Expendables are on an assigned mission to stop Suato, who runs a terrorist organization, from smuggling nuclear warheads that will ignite a conflict between Russia and the US. So what did you think of the trailer for The Expendables 4?
Well, I'm going to put this out of the way. The fact that they actually, it's not a poster thing when they put the 4 in it. It's literally the fucking title where they've kept it in a 4, like officially, like it's part of the title. That's dumb as fuck.
Mm-hmm. How are you meant to pronounce it?
I'm gonna go 1 up, 1 down, only because I have both Tony Jaa and Iko Uwais in a movie. 2 people I really like. otherwise, it would be a double thumbs down. But that said, I have watched all the other. I've watched the other three, so whatever.
Yeah, this is 1 up, 1 down for me. I mean, it's cool the cast is those people are involved, but this did not exactly excite me, and it's missing a lot of the like major cast members. I feel like were the draw from the last film. Like, there's at least 4 or 5 people from the like regular Expendables cast who aren't here.
Well, I can tell you why one of them left.
Yeah.
Do you know the story about why? What's his name from Terry Crews? You know why Terry Crews left?
Why?
So the person he accused of sexually assaulting him is like friends with one of the fucking 20 producers on this.
Wow.
And he said that the story is that dude asked him to like take back what he said, and he said nope. And then he said, all right, oh well, fuck you, I'm not going to do the movie anymore, and left.
Cool. Good for him.
So Google that shit. Yeah.
Good for.
It's not one of them.
Terry
It's
Crews.
not one of the producers that's ever on the set. If you look it up, it's like
one of the
dude's name.
50 executive producers.
Yeah, one of those dudes who just probably throw their money in a million. Like it's one of those dudes. So, but still, it's that was that.
Yeah. But yeah, it's crazy. The last movie came out in 2014, so it's been like 9 years since
It's been a while.
one of these movies. So yeah.
Have you watched them all?
No, I've watched absolutely none.
Okay. Here's my ranking.
Okay.
Off the top of my head, I'll say 2, 3, 1.
Okay.
There you go.
It's interesting. The one's like Julie's favorite.
Stallone directed that. I think there's a problem.
That's true. Yeah. This one, Stallone doesn't have a writing credit, so that's interesting.
No. So the last one was the one with fucking Antonio Banderas. I think that was the third one, the bad guy.
Mel Gibson. Oh,
Mel Gibson, right?
Antonio Banderas was the
next
one.
Yeah, he's in it. Harrison Ford too, right?
Yep.
Yep.
That one had everybody, and they're like, no, can't top it, I guess. Yeah, so Expendables 4 coming to the US on the 22nd of September and to Australian cinemas on the 5th of October. Last trailer for this week, Bottoms, directed by Emma Seligman, starring Rachel Sennott, Ayo Edeberry, Havana Rose Liu, Kaya Gerber, Nicholas Galazine, Dagmara Domazics, and Marshall Lynch. Unpopular best friends PJ and Josie start a high school fight club to meet girls and lose their virginity. They soon find themselves in over their heads when the most popular students start beating each other up in the name of self-defense. What did you think of the trailer for Bottoms?
Oh, double thumbs up. I can't fucking wait. Emma Seligman, obviously the director of Shiva Party. No,
Baby.
Shiva Baby, sorry. Which I really enjoyed a couple of years ago, obviously. This one's co-written between her and Rachel Sennott, also on it. The trailer looks so silly, like it's so funny at the same time. The fact that the jocks are never out of their football gear, I find very funny. But also quite, it's just good.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that the whole trailer plays out like a typical sort of teen high school thing, and then they just start beating living fuck out of each other. That's also very funny. The cast is really, really good. I mean, if you've never seen, have you ever seen? I think there's the interview with there was that interview last year with Ayo Edeberry where she's like talking about like being cast as the donkey in the Banshees of Inisherin.
Yes.
Yeah, and she does the whole accent and just commits to the bit. That's a very fun. She's a very funny person. So I mean, I'm keen for this. This is just I'm very, very keen. I've watched this one twice already, so give it to me.
Yeah, I'll give this thumbs up as well. I've watched it multiple times. Obviously debuted, I want to say, at South by Southwest earlier this year. So it's been on the radar for a while, but it looks fantastic. Looks incredibly silly. I enjoy Marshawn Lynch getting a acting role. Obviously a big NFL player, but he was in that Murderville show with Will Arnett in that episode. It was fantastic in. So seeing him here, being the voice of reason, I think is funny. Kind of.
They're just like, you're a teacher. Can you say that stuff to us?
Yeah. My mom says I need to find some hobbies while I was holding you like titty magazine. Just crazy and like I can kind of imagine how the climax of this film is going to play out, but I'm excited to see how it does. Just from some of the imagery, you kind of piece some things together. But
here's my other thing: I'm so annoyed. So, ever since I watched that Shiva Baby, I've sort of become like Rachel Sennott. I've become slowly more of a fanboy. The fact that she's in that fucking Idol at the moment. That the first episode of the Idol comes out last week, and the first trailer for this drops, and I go, fantastic, can't wait. I'm like, why are you in this trash? Get away!
Gotta get that money.
Fucking hell.
All right. Yep. So, bottoms coming to. I did not find a release date. Hang on.
It was like August.
Oh no, Bottoms does not have an Australian release date.
Oh, rip.
I thought it did, but it is coming to American cinemas on the 25th of August.
This will get released here.
It says it's being released internationally by Warner's. So let me have a look.
Yeah, I'll be. I wasn't filled with any fear after I saw who was distributing it. So
yeah, I guess we'll wait and see. All right.
Shut up, nerd! I fucked your mum.
Just the way he's
Sorry, I was just flicking for the trailer again. You cheated on me. No, I didn't. Shut up, nerd! I fucked your mum.
What a dummy.
Good bit.
All right. Let's move into this week's top three.
Definitely in the top three.
And in honor or in spite of the Idol, this week's top three. Top three acting performances by musicians. Because the weekends, right?
Sure. I mean, I'll tell you right now. I didn't go. I just went top three like musicians turned actors, not like best performances. Like, is that?
Sure. Okay. Dylan, what's your number three?
Number three, Mark Wahlberg.
Mm.
So obviously, like, I wouldn't call a great actor, but as far as like transitioning from being old Marky Mark to trying to do terrible rap into sort of one of the mainstay big Hollywood action stars at the moment, yeah, I feel like definitely a career change that worked out very well for him. So Mark Wahlberg.
All right. I did actual performances, but the top two.
You always tell me whatever, however you read it.
Yeah,
okay.
okay.
Rules.
My number three, Eminem for 8 Mile. It's not a stretch, but it's a very memorable performance. Kind of surprised he didn't do any real acting after this, but I
don't think he ever had any aspirations to be an actor. I just think he, like, when they said like we want to tell your story in a movie, he's like, okay, but
I'll do it.
Like, it's me.
Yeah. I don't trust anybody else to tell my story properly.
And full respect, because he definitely gives a very good performance in that movie. That it's quite funny that no one ever tried to drag him into doing more acting. He just was like, "No, I'll give this my all," and I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good. I had my fill. So yeah, memorable. Dylan, what's the number two?
Number two is Jennifer Lopez.
Ooh.
So obviously it has a lot of up down performances. She's appeared in all different types of genres, but she does have very good should have been award nominated roles, as we've seen a couple of years ago. What the fuck was that movie called? The stripper one, the fucking pole dancer one, whatever it's called. I don't know, whatever that one was called. That movie where she should have got nominated because she's very good, and then she's in other random shit like Anacondas and stuff like that. But obviously, she does both still. But she's she's one of the most mainstay, I think, like musicians turned actors. So yeah.
Hustlers, that was it.
Hustlers.
Yeah. My number two, John O'Mone for specifically Glass Onion, which is a fantastic film. And she's fantastic in it. playing multiple roles.
Mm.
Yeah, just brilliant. Steals the show. Yeah, and definitely did not expect that performance from her. So yeah, John O'Malley is my number 2. Dylan, what is your number 1?
Will Smith.
That's fair.
Who else? I feel like the way I read the question is biggest musicians turned actors. Will
I know,
Smith's
dude. I can't. Was he a musician before he started?
Yep.
Bel Air.
Yep.
Okay.
So he came in and he was basically playing himself because he was like the rapper kid, you know.
Okay.
And then he career just like jettisoned off that into full acting. Then every now and then he'd be like, I'm gonna try and make a song again. Then he'll put one out. People are like, nah, just stick to the acting. And he'll disappear for like 10 years. And then he came out with like that 2005 album that had that one good song. And then, you know, I don't think he put out any music since then, at least as far as I'm aware. I don't know.
Yeah. My number 1, Lady Gaga, Star is Born. Fantastic performance. And she's still doing fantastic music stuff as well. So, and despite some of her acting choices not being fantastic, you know, I think she's definitely multi-talented and will probably make the full transition to acting, I suspect. So yeah, that's our top 3s. Dylan, this week, what do you want to watch?
This week I want to watch Elemental.
Yep.
Upcoming Disney Pixar movie. In cinemas Thursday. In cinemas.
In cinemas.
Important to note, not straight to Disney Plus. It's actually in cinemas. So
Great.
That's it. I don't think I have a TV show this week. Just I got that.
Yeah, Elemental's my pick as well. I'm going to see The Flash, so I am excited about that. Also, hope maybe get a chance to see You Hurt My Feelings, which releases this week. And if you listen to this as soon as it's released, there's still a chance you can get tickets.
When's it end? The 15th or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to be very lucky in listening to the end of this podcast and have gone to our website right before the end of midnight or whatever. TV front, not a lot being released this week. Maybe Black Mirror. Maybe this is the season I finally jump in and watch an episode.
When's that at?
Thursday.
Oh, forgot about that. All right, that's my TV pick.
There we go. All right, let us know what you want to watch this week by going to explosion.com/Twitter or jump into Discord at explosion.com/Discord. If you want to help us out here at What Do You Want to Watch, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or on Podchaser. Leave us 5 stars, and you can leave 5 stars or just tell people about the show. And if you've enjoyed this episode, Thor's worth $1, head on over to our cover page at explosion.com/support. Thank you very much for listening. Until next time, keep watching stuff, I guess.